The auxiliary is a great way for people to give back to the community, give back to the services as well. We're volunteers, but we make a difference. We help out the active side in augmenting their forces, and we get to do jobs side by side with them and help them out.
A lot of support roles, from the aux chef program in the galley to the comms watchstander in the watch room. And then they're also a great asset for helping us train for our mission. Going out there to do as a safety platform and also giving us a different type of platform to train on and learn how to tow boats.
I would say there are so many opportunities within the Coast Guard Auxiliary to assist the Coast Guard. It's a volunteer organization, and we can do so many things aside from our contributions because we have such a wide, diverse background.
The aux chef program's great. I mean, I've seen some magnificent food come from the auxiliary, some replica cakes of Coast Guard vessels, and then also just the quality of food is great. Every person that puts on the auxiliary uniform, is there to support the Coast Guard. And I think that's part of our strength is having the auxiliary force.
I say look into the different types of job opportunities, career opportunities that are available, and then choose wisely.
Other service organizations may offer you some interesting things to do, but the Coast Guard Auxiliary offers you possibly the most. But if you want to examine vessels, it's to make sure that they have the right safety equipment. If you want to train people on how to be safe when they're out on their boats or their kayaks. If you want to be on a vessel and go out and make sure people are safe on the water, this is the organization for you.
Really appreciate what they do on a day-to-day basis. They are a force multiplier for the Coast Guard. whether it be aviation or surface side. I think the auxiliary is going to continue to grow. I don't think the Coast Guard can do what we do without the auxiliary.
We have a motion to adjourn. No, sorry. Not quite. We're almost there. We're almost there. Promise. And so if I do a little weird thing, yeah, the microphone and I, we haven't been friends this weekend at all. So now there's no thing to hold anything here, so everything would come off. Anyway, yeah. Happy day. Happy day. Welcome back, and we will reconvene the District 5 South Board meeting this morning. Ken Chandler, our District Staff Officer for Diversity, will lead us in this morning's invocation.
Good morning, shipmates. Good morning, shipmates. Good morning. Okay, yes, I know we're about to go to the Father, so this is a great opportunity. May we bow our heads? Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, Lord. We thank you for this opportunity to join together in leadership, Lord. We ask that you just watch over us, and we praise you for the blessings that you've bestowed on us, Lord, and just ask you that you just stand with us and make us steadfast and, honor your kingdom. Again, we appreciate the blessings, and just want to ask you, Father, as we now prepare to close out D-Train here in Baltimore, and as you pave the way for us to go to Raleigh, Lord, keep us steadfast in our mission and focus, and have us do those things that will glorify you. We ask that you just anoint our Commodore and just keep her, Lord, in your care. And let the leadership that she's already demonstrating and bringing to us flow. And let that go through XCOM committee all the way down to every auxiliarist in District 5, Lord. We just praise you again, Father, for the weather that we've had, just the opportunity to join in leadership as we learn and advance the Coast Guard's mission, Lord. Again, we give you all the credit, all the praise. And again, safe travel to our shipmates as we leave from here and depart and still uphold the mission of the United States Coast Guard Auxiliary and Support. We ask these things in your precious Son's name. Amen.
I'm going to get you back up. Sorry. I'm going to get you back up. Henry Hayes, Division 24 Commander, will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Now we can be seated. Okay, welcome everybody. I would like to welcome to join us this morning Commodore Tom Dever from our brothers and sisters to the north, D5 North. Okay. Well, the rest of us are all shipmates from the south, so we'll keep moving right along. Tom, thank you for coming down. Oh, here.
I was getting I told Michelle on Sunday morning our tradition is to tell jokes, so I could.
Yeah. He has one, so he'll get his opportunity in a moment. Yes, yes. We'll continue with our board agenda that we started on Friday. And would our District Staff Officer for Secretary of Records please take the roll? Did somebody wake him up? Oh, good.
DCO.
I'm here.
IPDCO. I'm here. DCOS. Here. DCAP, Maryland National Cavalry. Here. DCAP, DA. Here. DCAP, North Carolina. Here. DIROX. Here. DPDCA. Here.
Hot diggity dog. Hot diggity dog. right, let's continue with some of our reports this morning. So would our DDC Logistics please come up and tell us what's going on?
Good morning, I'm Andy Kelly, DDC for Logistics. Brief overview of what's going on in the Logistics Department. IS, AUX data issues are being elevated to national. No known fix for the constant crashes is going on. Please make your members aware with 7028 processing, if they need to do a name change, they need the supporting documentation, and that has to be processed through DIROX. Also, the 7039 needs to be modified for TCT refresher. Human Resources, AAMS rollout, the Auxiliary Applicant Management System, is a reporting database so national can see what's going on with response to national leads. This has been pushed down to the flotilla level. We are coordinating to get online training to bring all of our FSOs up to speed on the applicant reporting system. Materials. For those of you who are unaware, the district store is being shut down. Anyone who is willing to help, please go over to the district store location if you don't have reporting voting responsibilities. Andy Cardwell is by himself tearing down the district store. Some of the items from ANSC are back ordered. They may be slow in filling your request. Understand that they're not ignoring them. Our diversity team leads the nation. Hats off to Ken Chandler and his crew. We host the National Diversity Call, and our diversity team is knocking it out of the park. Publications, we're recruiting for FSO PBs. We only have 44 out of over 70 slots filled for publication. Kim is paying close attention to all photographs that are being submitted for uniform compliance. She's done a real good job with the trivia contest for uniforms, and I received no report from the CS. Thank you, Congressman.
Are there any questions for Andy? Okay, all right.
Guys, I want to say thank you to Andy Kelly. Andy Cardwell is not here right now. We have had such a turnover with this district store. The drama of the district store is ridiculous. My hat's off to the men and women that's been pitching in and helping out with the district store. And you out here have been helping and participating. Thank you for what you're doing as well.
Yes, definitely. And it's not only, it's a fiscal decision to close our online district store, but it's also a manpower issue. It's a lot of work. It really is. And one person, you know, bless Jason Breland, he did a great job. His daughter went back to school, and then he was left with all of that. And it's an everyday thing. Emails and orders and touching, you know, the items, and it's a big job. So when we did not have a response to our Help Wanted ad, it's a logical progression. So the items that can be returned to the National Supply Center for a credit to the district, because everything that you saw in that room, we own it. We've purchased it and we own it. The things that cannot be returned, you will see them again. We are going to have a district store at each of these training events. It's going to be sort of like what we did in Hampton Roads, where we get a consignment shipment from the National Supply Center. So we'll have the same items. It's just not, we're going to rely on someone to have a storage unit and to ship it out and to accept the orders and the whole thing that goes on with a business and a store. So that's where that lies at the moment. Yes, most definitely. So not only does Commander May own Coasties and Coastie trailers, he owns the store trailer that everything was stored in, hauled around in, and all of the equipment that goes with it as well. We're going to repurpose that trailer, and we're going to make sure that all of our conference equipment now has a home. and it can be easily moved from D-train to training to wherever it needs to go. So, just so you know, James, you now have a trailer. And along with the Coastie trailers, we've talked a lot about the refurbishment of the Coastie program and the trailers. The store trailer, the district trailer now, has gone through that refurbishment and inspection process. So the tires are good, the axles are good, the tongues are good. It's all been inspected and ready to go. So Commander May and his staff have done a superb job in supporting that initiative, and we're glad that all of our equipment is now safe and sound to be towed around. So, okay, any other questions? Any questions at all? Nope, okay. Response. Oh, see? You sit in order, but I mix it up a little bit.
Thank you. Hello, good morning. I'll tell you, I have a wonderful group of DSOs working for us. They've really done a good job over the last few months here. Our aviation group continues to do missions for the active duty per request to the air stations, and they really stepped up to the plate on Dorian. We provided two multi-engine and 4 single-engine for the Coast Guard. Is that correct? Okay, very good. Yes, and we submitted pictures for the Admiral's briefing, and I think he was very pleased with what we had to do there. Good job, Greg. Navigation continues to do the ATONs and aids navigation verification. Operations, we're filling most of the regatta patrol requests. Overall patrols are a little down, but so we're working on that. Food service continues again to support the active duty per request. Our communications unit, as we've mapped out the fixed and mobile facilities, and we have allowed that as part of the briefing to the Admiral during Dorian and so forth, and for the sector captains. We had a request from FEMA to provide watchstanders over Dorian. We sent out requests. We vetted those folks, I think probably 8 to 10, I believe. They had ICS 300 and a number of other qualifications. So we had 4 people we could send up there. They were online, ready to go. Okay, incident management. Which I'm also the DSO I am. So we're working on building an incident management team for our district. We sent out requests for volunteers, and we had a really good response. I was literally blown away at the quality of auxiliaries out there. They are amazing. The experience level, so we're starting to bring those folks in. We're going to be modeling this IM team after what D7 is doing. They have it dialed in down in districts, down at D7. Also, so we can also support our brothers and sisters in North, D5 North, and District 7 when the need arises. During Dorian, we submitted 209 forms every day for the Admiral's briefing. Commander May received that, and Lieutenant Commander Brunel, basically showing the assets that the auxiliary could bring to the table and our capabilities. So those 209s put the auxiliary right at the forefront of these briefings with sector captains and so forth. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Any questions for Randy in the response section? Oh. Okay. Are you guys still awake? All right. That's right. Well, then we'll know they're still awake. Prevention, please, Vince.
Good morning, everyone. Just like Randy says, prevention, we have a really good group of DSOs. We've made some staff changes since last quarter, and that's not going to work. We made some staff changes since last quarter. With PA, we've got a new DSO, Jeff Snyder, doing a real good job. He's trying to improve our cadre of photographers, and he's trying to develop an appropriate photography class for the PA. I think he's working with you on that. DSO, Marine Safety, Dave Gruber, doing an excellent job with online training and meetings. He now has 8 assistant pollution investigators, 3 assistant facility inspectors, and 2 assistant pollution responders for our district. And he has a lot of upcoming training events, so check the training calendar. PVs, John Grubb, who's in the hospital now having surgery. So keep him in our prayers on that. We are down about 15 certified PVs from last year this time, and most of it's possibly due to not completing the introduction to risk management. PE, Mr. Sinclair, he's been working with the North Carolina Wildlife Commission to submit detailed student information for those who have passed the ABS course. Basically what they're doing is getting the information, putting it in a database, so somewhere down the line if they need to get the card reissued, or it gives North Carolina an idea of how many people have passed the course. Oxlow, Charles Hurley, doing a great job. We had all our sites done, completed on time with great results. We are also working to trying to get PVs and VEs to get qualified in the Oxlow program to be observers. VE, DSO Lewandowski, been doing a great job with keeping up with the request for additional VSE stickers. We are roughly about 90% of our VEs have passed the IRM course, and the other 2 are due. The other 10% are due to not doing enough exams or not having passed the IRM course. OxPad, DSO McDevitt, has completed the 3 days of training in Collington, North Carolina with paddlecraft operators from Northern Virginia, Wilmington, and Kill Devil, North Carolina. And he's also in the process of making a detailed checklist and guidance for OxPad with the assistance from Dyrox and Frank Sprill, that's the thing. And SLO, Peter Boiler, he's been working with each of the district legislators when they're in session. He had a whole lot of stuff to report. If you want me to give you a update, a copy of it, I'll send it, but there's a lot. Other than that, that's all I have. Thank you.
Any questions for Vince and the prevention? Oh, man. You guys really do want to go home. All righty. Commander May?
All right, good morning. First of all, I see a lot of tired faces out there. So, Commodore, congratulations. We've done our job. We've worked you hard. I sincerely hope that you've enjoyed your time, but you've found it meaningful and rewarding to be here. If we're wasting your time, we're wasting our money and your time, which is never a good combination. So I want to congratulate our district captain, Woodrow Wilson, Sam, thank you for all that you've done. I know this is your last D-Train as the official DCAP. Appreciate everything you've done. Woodrow, appreciate you stepping up to the plate. There's Travis over here, and John, I will take your ID card. You know, this guy, you know, he brings his wife to D-Train and invites her to take my wife to the Louis Vuitton store yesterday, and apparently now I have to stop by the Louis Vuitton store on the way home. So let's just say this is going to be an expensive trip. So John offered his membership card, not his credit card, unfortunately, but so can't afford to fill up the trailer, Commodore. But seriously, to my elected officials, thank you for what you do. I know it doesn't, it's not always fun. There's a heck of a lot of work that goes on. And then this just trickles on down to our flotilla commanders, all of you division commanders for stepping up and doing what you do. I know that Mike Lewandowski stepping back in and helping out. Thank you for everything. I would also like to give a shout out to Randy, Dr. Randy, our DSO-IM. He's so much more than just the DSO-IM. You know, I drug him down to District 7. He alluded to it a little bit, but I drug him down to D7 to sit down with the experts to try and figure out what are you guys doing down there, because whatever you're doing, it's working really well. So the first thing we found out was when we sat down with his equivalent, he drew out this little diagram of all of his staff members, and the guy had like 6 or 7 deputies underneath him that was taking care of things like the district IMT team, the emergency operations team, the Everbridge team, the gap analysis team, so on and so on. So we had people set up to run each one of those branches with all the people underneath, and we're like, okay, this kind of makes sense, you know, having more than just one person. But, you know, what I noticed during Hurricane Florence, from my perspective, our die rock shop, your die rock shop, was decimated. When the event happens, we get sucked up into the watch because we don't have a lot of people. So literally, auxiliary operations stops, okay? So what we noticed was, okay, hold on. My beautiful bride is here with my coffee. Thank you. She wants the credit card? She already has it. It's all I can afford. Okay. Sorry, I digress. But what we noticed during the D7 trip was they have their act together. They have all these folks put into place that are running these teams. So Randy and I came back. We were so excited to come back and share the news with our Commodore, our Chief of Staff, and more importantly, share it with the active duty Coast Guard, our counterparts at District 5. Because what happens to us when the incident happens, we get sucked up into the watch. Now, I was a liaison officer, so I'm dealing with FEMA Region 3 up in Philadelphia, FEMA Region 4 down in Atlanta, the state emergency operations centers. We've got folks there, but we realized we can do so much more for the auxiliary. If we are out of sight, we are out of mind. So during Florence, none of you got called because we're too busy. We're too busy doing stuff to deal with the response. The last thing the Coast Guard has time to think about is, okay, well, oh yeah, well, Michelle, what do you have to offer? No, but we learned our lesson. So during Hurricane Dorian, what we started doing is these 209s. So what Randy did, Randy and his team with Craig Smith back there and a couple other folks, they were putting together this picture, if you will, of everything that we had to offer every single day, submitting that to the command center to where we're not out of sight, we're not out of mind. This is the first time we've ever done this, to where the auxiliary is sending these incident management forms into the watch. So now, thanks to Craig Smith, he put together just one little 8.5 by 11 page of the 6 aircraft that were available, because we know a picture's worth 1,000 words. And I slid it onto the Admiral's desk, and you heard him on the conference call with all the major commands say, this is good stuff, I want to use the auxiliary. Now, let's be realistic. The auxiliary's probably not going to be called for the response phase, okay? But we can certainly help them with prevention phase. You know, our marine inspector, our pollution responders, folks like that, they can certainly help. We, Randy and I, Dr. Randy, as I like to call him, what we're trying to do, the next step is getting folks identified for these county EOCs. We'll let the Coast Guard deal with the state EOCs, but I'm super excited because now we have opportunities for us to truly support the Coast Guard, and that's what we're here for. It's not the Coast Guard here to support us in the auxiliary. The auxiliary is here to support the Coast Guard. That's the reality. How can we do it? Because the Coast Guard's not good. The Coast Guard is not very good about knowing what they need, right? Sometimes they're not. But we've found a niche, and we're going to fill it. So I'm excited to have Dr. Randy on our team. Yes, sir.
Thank Brad for putting together some of those slides.
Absolutely. Brad, thank you, sir.
One phone call and it's done. Thank you.
That's awesome. Now, I do have a guy in the district office that's going to take all these latitude and longitudes of all of our communications land units and map it out onto a map to where, you know, once again, that picture's worth 1,000 words. We're just not quite there yet. But we want to be able to, in a very powerful PowerPoint slide, put it on the Admiral's PowerPoint screen, or a table drop as we call it, to where they have our resources. So excited about that. Okay, so how many of you have heard of the IQ status? So you've heard of BQ status, IQ status. So you know initially qualified. So initially qualified status means that the person hasn't taken a boating safety course, right? Now, this seems kind of crazy to me, but I so thought that we were in the Coast Guard Auxiliary. The Coast Guard, what a novel thought that you would want to have a boating safety course. So there is discussion right now of getting rid of IQ status. So I'm telling you right now, if you've got folks in your flotillas, in your division, that's still sitting on their rear ends and they haven't gotten their boating safety course done, let's start pushing these individuals to get this done. Why would we be in a Coast Guard auxiliary if we don't know the first thing about boats? Okay? It's not official yet, but I'm telling you, it's probably going to happen, and it's probably going to come sooner than later. Please encourage our members. And let's get creative. You know, we can do a boating safety class at one of our flotilla meetings. Let's get it out there. Maybe we'll have a Saturday. Well, let's get it done. So that's all I have to say. I want to thank you again for coming to D-Train. We've learned a lot. We're excited about our way forward with your Leadership Academy. And as Commodore McElroy so eloquently put it a couple of days ago, it's not just for flotilla commanders, division commanders, or DCAPs for this Leadership Academy. Everybody's welcome to come and learn what they need to do this course. Pending any of your questions, that's all I have. Going once? Okay, thank you so much.
Speaking of going 3 times, does anybody have their little green tickets? Does anybody have number 486? Does it not say 486? All right, it says 48. Okay, all right. Well, I'll just tuck that right back in there. Okay. Going once, going twice. We'll try it again later on. Our illustrious Chief of Staff.
Good morning. Just a quick follow-up on what Commander May mentioned about the IQ status and the boating safety class. How many instructors do we have who really don't have the opportunity to instruct? I'm about to go into REAR as an instructor. I can teach a boating safety class, a win-win. keeps me out of re-year. Of course, we all know it's all about me. But keep the instructors out of re-year and provide an opportunity for those members in IQ. So, it's, as I say, I think it's a win-win situation. My report's going to be very, very brief. What I really want to do is thank some folks. First and foremost, I want to thank everyone who took time out of their busy schedules to come join us this weekend at our D-Train. We, as you all experienced the last 2 days, we tried something a little bit different. We had a lot of the traditional kinds of classes that we offer. We did some leadership classes, but we tried some mission-specific training. The logistics area was featured this weekend. That focus is not going to go away. We will do that again next September. We will do a response. But it's just something that we tried, and I think it was successful. Let us know if you liked it, if you didn't like it. We want these events to be of benefit to all of our members. So please, we can, without your feedback, please. I want to thank also the DDC, excuse me, the DDCs here this morning. You heard about a lot of the good work that they're doing. I want to thank them for their leadership and their efforts. I want to thank again Jim Thomas, who was instrumental in putting this together. Jim serves as our DSOMT. Jim's in the back of the room. Thank you, Jim. Very, very much appreciate it. And lastly, I want to thank all of our staff officers, our flotilla staff officers, our division staff officers, our assistant district staff officers, our district staff officers. Staff officers are leaders. Staff officers are critical to the success of our missions. So for those of you who are DSOs, ADSOs, any staff position, thank you very, very much for all that you do. And if you would express on my behalf the appreciation to your division staff officers, flotilla staff officers who are not here. That concludes my report, Commodore.
Tom, do you want to tell your joke now? No. You want the microphone?
No. Thank you, Commodore.
You're welcome.
I'd like to thank all of you in my SR for really what I think is an unprecedented level of cooperation. Alan and Michelle came up to our D-Train 2 weeks ago, which has been pretty difficult. I embarrassed myself when I went to introduce Alan because I couldn't remember which of his 3 first names was actually his first name. I did struggle through it, but fortunately I got a sense of humor. And I'd like to really thank Alan, Michelle, and Randy as well for including us in the Hurricane Dorian as though we are with the district. And even though you were in the target and we turned out not to be, we were treated every bit as though we were the 80th birthday. Mine 80.
Thank you, Tom. Yeah, we'll have to think about that tradition. Yeah, we'll have to think about that tradition, so we'll go from there. That concludes our XCOM and reports for this morning, but does everybody need a break? Stand up, move around? Oh, I heard a no, let's get out of here. Okay, got it. Heard it loud and clear, loud and clear. All right, Alan, would you come and talk about the proposed budget, since you're the head of the budget committee? Pretty please?
It's probably not the best thing in the world to do to start out with an apology, but I won't. What I will do is I will thank John Fewer for his eagle eye. There is a slight typo in the budget. DCAPS on the form that you have has 1,500. It actually should be 2,500. In case you think that the budget committee can't do arithmetic. Several months ago, Commodore Thornton sent out a proposed budget that we and the budget committee had put together. The budget committee consists of myself, the 3 DCAPS, and our DSO-FN, Brian Gritty. The budget that we initially circulated was pretty much a traditional budget, the way we've been doing things for a number of years. Several of the board members came back with suggestions, thoughts, ideas, concerns. Bottom line is the budget committee went back to work, reworked the budget, and the budget that you have in front of you for consideration this morning is a budget, essentially a balanced budget. We have been projecting deficit budgets, approving deficit budgets for a number of years, and we reevaluated that and put together for your consideration a balanced budget. Actually, it's if the stars align, we'll end the year with $110 to the positive. Some of the highlights of the budget, some of the changes, I'll go through. On dues, the original budget that we put forth was based on 2,200 members, and we revised that to 2,300 members. As of a couple of days ago, according to AUX Directory, we had 2,332 members. So the 2,300, we feel fairly confident with that. We have also included an increase in the registration fee for each of the D trains. So that's why the change there. In the DDCs, their budget in the past had been $200 per DDC, and the proposed budget increases that to $1,000 per DDC to allow the DDCs an opportunity to respond to needs in their area. Likewise, with the DCAPS, their budget had typically been $1,500, and that's being increased to $2,500 per DCAP to allow them to support their sectors as they deem necessary and appropriate. Now, what's the offset for those two? We've increased DDCs, we've increased DCAPs. What we have eliminated is a number of the officer reimbursements. There have been There's been a line item for each of those over the years. So those, for the most part, are going away. Now, they're going away for a couple of reasons. One is very, very, very little of that money has been typically used. And secondly, because we increase the DDCs and we increase the DCAPs, surprise, surprise, the money has to come from somewhere. There are a couple of things that we have eliminated the storage unit at Elizabeth City. That was a storage unit that we rented to store some communications equipment, some racks, some cabinets. We no longer need that because we received permission from the OTO to dispose of some of that. So, no need. So let's not. We're not going to budget for it. What we do have to maintain in the area of communications equipment, Flotilla 1601 has acquired, actually the air station purchased for 1601 a storage unit, so we're going to share that with the DSO CM, who is a member of 1601. We're going to use that so we can eliminate some storage. The member training support has gone unused, so we've eliminated that. We had a budget line item for the division auxiliaries of the year to come to D-Train. That's been refocused. Commodore Thornton last night recognized the members of excellence. We've gone in a new direction there, and the member of excellence is the generosity of Commander May. The members of excellence are now receiving orders from DIROX. The XCOM meeting expenses, we've eliminated that. We have committed to finding free meeting spaces. And now, free sometimes may be, you never know who's going to show up on your door. You may have 5 or 6 people come in, and we may crash one of your events and have an XCOM meeting. But the point being that we're trying to be. We feel that, I feel, the committee feels, XCOM feels that we need to be very, very, very good stewards of our members' money. We have a responsibility to the 2,300 members to spend the money wisely, appropriately, and let's get as much bang for our buck as we can. So we're eliminating some of these. The VIP gifts, we've eliminated the cost for that. We've done away. The budget proposes doing away with the Survey Monkey. And just again, in summary, listening to the the division commanders who reached out to us, several of them. Several of them are here, and I want to thank you for sharing your concern. And we took it to heart. And I'll be glad to answer any questions. Anybody has any comments? I believe.
How can you reassure the members about what kind of money you have currently in the bank as opposed to just $100 cost?
Brian Gritty, our balance sheet is.
Right now, the stands about $150,000. But there's some money in there for E-Train. I think after we take the E-Train bill,
I'm sorry, around. Okay. And then we'll have, of course, the revenue from the district store, because as Commander and his Commodore Thornton mentioned, we own what's in there, so everything there goes, not in my, and the district pocket, not my pocket. Right. We're clearly not destitute. We're not going out of business. We're not going to be bankrupt. I think over the years, at least the 10 or 11 years that I've been involved with the district, I think we've done a good job of managing our money. We have spent some money on things. We bought the fire extinguisher simulator. We bought some other things, but the things that we have bought are to the benefit of our membership, to the benefit of the boating public, our customers, our members. So now, please note that I, Alan Fred, did not stand up here and say we're going to increase dues. No dues increase. So with that, any further questions? Yes.
So on income line item, district store sales, 5,000. That's still real good. I know we get proceeds from auxiliary center. So that is.
That will, yes. What Commodore Surson is referring to is I bought some stuff from the Auxiliary National Supply Center, like a dummy. I should have waited until yesterday. I could have saved a whole lot of money, but Mrs. Fred didn't raise too many smart sons. Anytime any of our members in D5 South buy an item or items from the Auxiliary National Supply Center, there is a rebate that comes back to the district. I think it's 5%, Brian?
I don't remember the exact percentage, but it seems to run about $300 to $1,000.
Okay. So, yes. I'm sorry, John. John, thank you. Any other? John and I have an understanding. He will be my proofreader for time immemorial.
I think he volunteered to be DSOFN. I understand Ryan's looking to train someone else.
Commodore, we can swear John in as the DSOFN right now, can't we? John, what's your phone number? Okay, the totals work. John, what are the others? Let's just go through.
It's just labels. Again, the totals are correct. But if we look at line 1, it says full year is 2,200 times 30. That would be 66,000. I'm sure you talked about 2,300 through 70, so it makes it 69,000. Down to expenses, 22 times $24 is not 55,000. It's something less than 509. And then the EDC, you have 3 times 200, that's only 600 rather than 3,000. So if we can just, it's just a matter of correcting labels, I think, to the left.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay, my report, the Budget Committee report, per Robert's Rules of Order, would be a motion which would need to be seconded, and then we can open it for further discussion. Okay. David, do you have the second? Okay. Any further discussion? Okay, I think I'm
yeah.
supposed to be, I'm green, you're blue. I just did the blue part in the script.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good.
You may be driving my truck home, I may be walking.
I'm not going to have to walk home from Baltimore. That's a good thing. All right. Oh, thanks, Rob. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Rob. Maybe I can talk to my division commander. He can take me home. It has been moved and seconded to accept the proposed 2020 D5 South budget as corrected today. No further discussion? So the question is before you on the 2020 D5 South proposed budget. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Thank you. All those against, please raise your hand. That's right. Yeah, either one. Either one. Oh, most certainly. Most certainly, yes. We'll make it look pretty, and then it will come to you all. So, and then it'll be posted on the website as well. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. So the last order of business today is the consideration of the proposed updated bylaws. They were sent to each board member for original comment in July, and the updated bylaws was sent to the board members in August. And it's also included in your division commander packets that you received at registration. There was a lot of little nitnoy, call them the nitnoy changes in there. So per Robert's Rules of Order, Section 57, amendment of bylaws, general revisions. Changes of bylaws that are so extensive in general that they are scattered throughout the bylaws should be effected through the substitution of an entirely new set of bylaws called a revision. That's what we've done. To save time, instead of, okay, we're going to vote on Section 2.2, and so on and so forth. Nothing significant has changed. What we have tried to do is to get rid of things that no longer apply, and we are putting in some control of our forms and our manuals. Like I said before, you know, the auxiliary manual, the operations policy manual, that is owned by Big Coast Guard, and they get to go through their process to change it. So if they forgot to dot an I, it has to go all the way back through that committee. The things that are in our standing rules and bylaws, we can control and change as we see fit here in the 5th District. So the forms, the awards manual, the FS manual, I'm sorry, I took the FS manual out because there is a brand new national food service manual, so we don't need to have that for ourselves. Just let me pip through. Okay, so the awards manual, we now have the Past Division Commanders Association bylaws that we will include as well. The member application checklist and all of the forms, some standard forms that have been found to be helpful throughout the district. And again, if there's something that we need, all we got to do is create it and add it. It doesn't have to go, you know, through the whole rigmarole of that at national. So our mascot policies and procedures, and then an amendment piece of that. There we go. So is there a motion to accept the proposed bylaws as presented? Okay. And a second. So it's moved and seconded to accept the proposed bylaws as presented. Is there any discussion? Verify the one. No. Exactly. So, and that's exactly the question. Thank you. So the rules are the rules. And that's what we're voting on today. The appendixes that include, say, the awards manual, those manuals are controlled by each of their programs. So the mascot program is going to be controlled by our mascot coordinator, awards by the awards committee. And yes, so if they make a change, then we replace it in here, and it doesn't need a vote because they control that. Yeah, so a lot of this stuff is born out of some of my frustrations along my journey here, because you're like, where's the awards manual? I've never seen the awards manual. Or, you know, where is this form? Or where it now has a home and a place to live. So that's the impetus behind that, definitely. Any other discussion? Wow, you guys really want to go home. Okay. Well, then the question is on the acceptance of the proposed bylaws. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Wow. All right. Are there any against? Please raise your hand. Well, there are 2/3 in the affirmative, and the bylaws are adopted. And the standing rules and bylaws will go into effect at the close of our meeting today. You'll notice that there is a place that will go through the chain of leadership via our director and to the national directorate. So once that is signed, you will all receive a copy, and it will be posted on the website. So we'll go from there. Okay, last but not least. No, I'm not bringing out the little green ticket again, I promise. Oh, well, all right then.
I'll tell you what number to drop.
I bet you will. Okay, Commodore. So, just so you know, that's the one from last night that won. I'm not taking things out. 494.
No.
Nope. Okay. Nope.
If it goes back in the budget, do we have to redo the?
No, we do not. Oh, this is a good one. 17. Oh. Oh, this is an even better one. 9. Oh my goodness.
Well, we have division done.
We had, yeah. All right. 2 more and then we're gonna. 77. Yes, man.
Thank you very much.
Now you get a bag. I'm sorry, it's not a Louis Vuitton bag, but now you can tell your wife you got a bag too. Oh no, there's something in it.
Is there stuff in there from Victoria's Secret? That's not carrying that bag.
Well, you know, it's okay now.
That's not a Louis Vuitton. You mean once that spits all the way to the bottom?
John, the cost of that bag is the cost of the bag of the white one.
Yeah.
The average is 2 gets down to almost
Almost. Oh, gee. One of the, yeah, oh no. they'll have to go to work soon. I want to thank everybody that came and participated in the silent auction on Friday night, and I am very happy to say that our 5th District Southern Region donation to the Coast Guard Mutual Assistance Fund will be $635. All right, out and about and at the registration table, you have seen that form, maybe? Maybe. I'm going to send it to all hands. I wanted to introduce it here to everybody before it went out to everybody. But the new, oh, it's in your packets. Yeah, there you go. Sometimes I outsmart myself. So the unit pride ball caps, we're allowed to wear them with our uniforms. Yes, that was a big question. It was approved. Oh, well, okay then. I'll make sure you get it. So anyway, unit pride ball caps. It does not come with the star. Just saying, it does not come with a star. It's still just like a ball cap. You put whatever device you need on there, but it is auxiliary D5 South. So they are for sale. Nope. It's just like our regular ball cap, made out of the same material, sold by the Coast Guard Exchange System, approved and ready to go. So that was one of the changes that came out of the uniform board a little while ago. They went, you know how things come around in a full circle. It came back to allowed to wear your unit ball cap. So those are going to be me. $25 a piece. I know. Minus $3 because I owe you $3. So yes, minus $3. Jeez Louise, I gotta get. Yes. I'll take cash today.
Without the insignia on it, we take our stars off, we can wear it with blue jeans and t-shirts, right?
It is a uniform ball cap. So do you wear your uniform ball cap now with blue jeans and t-shirts?
This one, I'm asking.
No.
Okay.
No.
Strictly for uniform.
Strictly for uniform, yeah, yeah. Made out of that same fun material. So, yes, we do get the district does get a kickback from that as well, $5. So you're supporting the district and you're getting a cool hat. No, 25 straight up. Yes, no. Yeah. Yeah.
But it only comes in extra large. I might need a bigger hat.
No. Do you need an extra large?
I hope I'm kidding.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that later, but yeah. Division commanders and everybody, the 2 posters that you've seen floating around up here are the 2 posters that were produced by National. Everybody take one home, please. And if you would like the 2 in the frames, please take them as well. But do leave the easels. Those belong to the district. But yes, the posters are available. I got one for everybody. Use them how you see fit. The piece at the bottom, it's really a blank white spot, so you can write something in, or all I did was type out and print, because you couldn't read my writing to save my life, and put it on there and use it how you see fit. So they're a good thing, along with the recruiting videos and the history videos that we saw Friday night. They're available on the Public Affairs website. And if you need more of these, your materials officer can order them from the ANSC. So those are out there, but instead of well, you can only order one, I called them up and said, hey, listen, give me 20 of them and let's make our people happy. So. Yes, please do. Please. Yeah. Yeah. So thank you, Alan, for getting me and all of my things up here. I started to pack my car and ready to come, and it just kept coming and and finally there was still a pile of things in the driveway. And he pulled up and I said, Alan, we're going to have to take your truck because I can't go in my car. So, thanks. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. The new edition of the blinker is on the website now, and all hands will go out ASAP. As soon as we can, hit that button and make it happen. And then we invite everybody to send us input and feedback on this event and input for our leadership event coming up, February 21st through the 23rd. The dates haven't changed. The format and maybe the place will change. That's to be, still very fluid at this point. I'm sorry? Maybe. Maybe. Just put the date on your calendar and leave the place blank for the moment. So we'll have to see, because we don't need a grand renaissance for our leadership academy. So we'll keep playing that. But if there's things that, as you talk to your members and you sort of spread this idea around about leadership training and the nuts and bolts of what they need, send us the feedback. What do they think they need? What do they like? What do they don't like? Let us know. It's a work in progress. Commodore McElroy and Jim Thomas, their wheels have already turned out some really great ideas and things that we're going to do. So keep that going from there. Is there anything else for the good of the district? Yes, Jim.
I did.
I'll have to ask, because I think one of those came with Henry from Hampton Roads. I'll text him in a minute. We're multiplying screens. Woohoo!
I got mine too.
Okay, I'll look at them because I know Henry brought one, so that may be his. Okay. That's probably ours. Okay. Well, if nothing else, I'll take it with me, and then it's closer to North Carolina if we can't figure it out in the middle. So, okay. Put it in the trailer. Speaking of the trailer, so we're done with business. Okay. And not officially, we will be in a moment. Just making sure there's no alibis floating around. So if everybody would leave their things here when we adjourn, and we're going to go help Andy Cardwell take a box and put it in the trailer, or put it on a cart and then put it in the trailer, that would be fantastic to help him, as he is the one-man band. I would appreciate it. Okay, well then, by the virtue of the authority, alibi. Oh.
Sorry. Couple of comments to Tom Devers' point, Commodore Dever. We are one team. We are one D5. Vicki Taylor and I came into the job together at the same time. She and I have been pretty much joined at the hip. We both work for the same captain. Of course, we both work for the same admiral. So, Vicki Taylor is the director for D5 North, my counterpart. So really, we have embraced the one D5 concept. Also wanted to let folks know, out of my budget each year, I give each one of the sectors, North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland National Capital Region, and Air Station Elizabeth City $15,000 a year to help support our auxiliary. So when you hear about a shed being built on Air Station Elizabeth City property, that's from our district. That's our money to help support our auxiliary folks. I also want to give you an update. At the end of each year, the government, those of you in the government business, you know this very well, at the end of the year, they start to look at money that people have, and they sweep that money to buy things. In the past, our money has been swept. We have a little extra SAMA money, things like that sitting in our account. That money's swept, and they go and they buy buoys and big old 15,000-pound anchors or sinkers, you know, big concrete blocks. Well, oh, this is being recorded, isn't it? So what I did this year, we pulled a quick one on them because I wanted that money to be spent on something for us, not freaking buying buoys. I'm sorry. But so we had a need. One of the lessons learned that Dr. Randy and I learned when we were down in D7 is all of their auxiliary aircraft down in D7, they use single-person life rafts that are about the size of a football. Much easier to get in and out of these Ox-Air aircraft as opposed to the big 4-person life rafts that are being, you know, handled and, you know, putting in and out of aircraft. Plus, they told us down in Miami that when one of those 4-person aircraft or life rafts inadvertently deploy inside the cockpit of this plane, it does a heck of a lot of damage. So I'm happy to tell you that we, adopting the 1D5 concept, we purchased out of our budget, my budget, 51 of these single-person life rafts for all of the Ox-Air facilities in all of D5 at the sum of about $44,000. So that money, that has been purchased, and it's on its way. We have to figure out how we're going to get people trained. We bought enough to where we have enough for each aircraft to have one per person, and we're going to have a couple on the shelf as spares, as well as a trainer for each air station, Elizabeth City and Air State Atlantic City. We think this is a home run. The pilots seem to be pretty excited about it, and the best thing is they're good for 5 years before they have to be repacked. And we're not going to use our own auxiliary men and women to repack these. We're going to use a third party, because the last thing you want is if something happens and that life raft does not deploy, you don't want that on your conscience that it was you that packed it. So we're going to do it a little bit different. And, you know, we're talking about the budget, our district budget here, and you heard about a little bit of money being put aside for decaps, this and that. Working with Commodore Adams, what we started doing out of our district budget, or my budget, is also allotting a little bit of money for your Commodore, your Chief of Staff, and your decaps to also do some travel too. So we've kind of got some matching funds. I see Bruce Johnson in the back, you know, to help with the Sea Scout program. We put a little bit of money together, but let's be honest, a little doesn't go a long way, but a little bit does help. So thank you so much.
Any other alibis? Going once? Okay, that's it then. By the virtue of the authority vested in me, as the 49th 5th Southern District Commodore, okay, I declare the 2019 board meeting, D-Train, adjourned.